Hello and welcome to the Gothic Unicorn and to Creepmas decorating day. The day has finally come to prepare my doll's house for the festive season, and I've got a few little things to finish off, and then we'll get stuck right in to creating my grotty grotto. If you watched my Christmas ideas video, you may remember these two. They've had their makeover. This is my Santa Claus, who, when I bought him, I thought he looked like he'd got a face of something quite horrible. The face painting is not very good, and the eyes look like they're just black holes, and the mouth looks like actually he's smeared with blood or something. Now, he was holding a bell, which I cut off, and I painted the end of his stroke handle of the bell so it looked black like his other one, and I've given him a skull. The skull is just a bead that I've filled the hole in with a bit of glue, and I've put a bit of paint over it. It's not a brilliant paint job. I'm not claiming to be a painter of this sort of size of miniatures. Now, my brother is, and he does a really good job, and he'd probably be disgusted if he saw this, but yeah, well, it'll do for what I want it to do. And then I've got my snowman, who originally had a bird on his hat, a bird on his arm, and a couple of little woodland creatures in the snow next to him. They've all been removed. And I've given him some more skulls, same idea, beads, building holes, bit of paint. Thank you very much. He's had a bit more of a makeover with the paint. I had to paint his arms because obviously I'd exposed some white. I painted his hat, and I've given his hat a coat of glossy Mod Podge just to give him a bit of shine back. And then he's had a rough coat of white paint all over. The reason for this was the one animal came off from this side, left a very flat, shiny surface. I've managed to texture it a bit using some glue. The advantages of a tacky glue, once it starts to set, is that you can do some three-dimensional stuff. And then I've just gone over it with white paint just to blend everything in, because actually he looked a bit more icy than snowy. But these two are going to go into my grotto. They're going to be a couple of decorative pieces. I'm going to pull upon some of the things from last year to hopefully pull things together, and it's now time to bring the basement in. So I brought the basement upstairs, and one of the first things I want to address is the entrance here, which is the area between the two parts of it, which I said back when I started with this idea I wanted to put some kind of a curtain. I was really lucky in that we were shopping looking for something else, and I found this. Now, this is what we call lamata. It's like strands of tinsel, basically. What you generally do with this is you cut it off its piece that it's attached to, which is underneath the card, and you drape it over your Christmas tree. Well, at least that's what we've always done with it. I haven't seen it for a good many years, and I happened to see it and I was like, I'm having that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a piece of that to go down here. Let me tilt this a bit. It's going to fit over there, so it's going to look like there's a curtain between the two areas. So that's my first job. I think I'm just going to stick it in place with a little bit of tacky wax, if that will work. And obviously I've got to trim this stuff because it's quite long. It's about as long, it's actually longer than that section of the basement, so I've got plenty. But it was just perfect. It meant I hadn't got to play with ribbon or paper or anything like that to make a suitable curtain. I have put the lamata into position down there, and that is giving me my curtain. It's a bit messy on here because obviously with the the shape around the stairs, it wasn't easy to actually fit it across nice and straight. But I'm kind of consoling myself in that this side is out of view when the doll's house is in position. Well, the doll's house is still in position, it's the basement that isn't. So I'm going to proceed now with adding the other bits onto the basement. I'm going to start with this side because this one's on the table. We will just give it a turn round because then I can see it as it's going to be. I've got topiary, I've got a new mat, things like that. So I'm going to start by putting those out. The first section of the basement is decorated. I've brought in the Santa's Grotty sign from last year and my freaky snowman. I've added a bit of wreath along here. This is a pipe cleaner mixed with a wreath tie. Now you can buy these wreath ties sometimes from craft stores, sometimes from, I get them in the past, I've got them from a cheap store. I haven't seen any this year, but they're like a pipe cleaner, but they're designed for doing your wreath with, so they're made of the stuff like fake Christmas trees are. And then if we look over the top, you can see the mat, the topiary and the wreath on the basement door. So that's the start of this side. I'm just going to reposition and I'll show you the rest. From here, this is from the house side, you can see my Christmas scene, and then if I spin round, you've got my gingerbread man under the stairs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you down. You can see through what will be the kitchen window. Not focusing very well on the outside, but you can see it nonetheless. And then I come down to the door and you get a glimpse of the gingerbread man. Now all of this should be lit. My plan was to put lights, let me move my hand, lights all under here, around under there, and then through into the other section. I can't do that while it's upstairs because I need the two pieces to be separable to take them back down to the doll's house. But you do get the kind of idea. I'm not sure that I'm going to actually do that this year. I need to figure out how I'm going to cover up lights that I don't want showing and change the colour on some other lights, including under there, because I want that to glow red at some point. So that will probably be a job for next year. But I am kind of liking how it's coming together nonetheless. I've gone back to the overhead stand for my camera. So brought in the other part of the basement, which is the smaller half. As you can see, Santa and his backdrop are in place. Again, this was going to be lit, but I'm not sure that I'm going to do that this year. Instead, I'm going to use the other bits and pieces that I've got to decorate him up a bit. It's not going to be quite what I wanted, but it's something. And this year, I'm thinking that settling for something is better than deciding that it's all ruined because I can't get everything done. And that goes for real life as well as miniature Christmas. So I'm going to get decorating. I'm off the stand again, so please excuse any wobble. And the basement is decorated. I've put another garland along there, and I've also added this young man and his bicycle, and he's looking down rather suspiciously on Santa down below. You can also see my lollipops just sitting there decorating either side of that window. I did intend to do some specific garlanding to go over the basement windows. I haven't got that far. I would have used the same sort of wreathy stuff as I've used here, but I would probably have done some little candy canes and things to go on there to go with the theme, and to liven it up a bit. Now, if I can move this without making too much noise, without knocking this young man over, I will bring the camera down here, and you can see that these two little fellows that I've done today are now in here. I think I'm going to be adding some lights down here. I may do another scene piece to go here, something different to the other one. I'm not sure. I might have added perhaps a little bit of a felt carpet leading up to Santa, so it looks like, you know, you're going to a proper grotto, but it's supposed to be a grotto. It's not supposed to be really exciting. But there is the basic layout of my Christmas decorations for this year. Now, I've put both pieces together on my table, and I'm just going to do a scan along. I've put my candy canes up on the bottom of the stairs, and the wreath for the front door is sitting on the stairs because obviously the front door's still downstairs. And then you come through into the actual grotto section. I quite like the sort of general effect. If I draw back a bit, you can see a bit more. I'm quite pleased with it. As I say, it's not exactly what I had in mind, but it's not looking bad considering how I felt a few weeks back, where I was just ready to just not do anything for Christmas. So I hope you've enjoyed my little venture into a grotto, and maybe next year I will follow through with some of the other ideas that I had. Santa might actually be sitting in a little shed type building in that space, which I think will look even grottier than where he is at the moment. As I say, I like Santa, I like my topiary, and to be fair, the candy cane decorations have come out quite good as well. So yeah, it's not looking too bad at all. I must ask you to excuse all the wire, but I have just put my Lemax lampposts onto the pillars just to show you how I can add them into the scene and add a bit of light to the top. I think they sort of work because you do get those smaller scale pieces at Christmas that aren't real. Obviously the wire needs to be all fed underneath, but that's a bit too much of a fiddle for the moment. That'll have to be done once the basement is back on the doll's house. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this little glimpse into my Creepmas decorations, and obviously I've got lots of ideas that I will be making a note of for next year. So if you have enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and until next time, bye.